What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show from the Valley to the Mountaintop podcast. I'm your host, Micah Gibson. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. On this podcast, we interview business owners to see the ins and outs on what it took to build their particular business. I hope you brought your pen and pad because we have a special guest in the building. I'm going to let him introduce himself and his company. And while you're at it, sir, give us a little bit of background on your upbringing.
All right. How you doing? My name is CJ Johnson. I'm the owner and operator of Samsonite Painting and More. We specialize in commercial residential pressure washing and painting. We got started back in 2019. Just to be honest, had a challenging background growing up as a young man. At a Little Rock, Arkansas. We gang violence, drugs. Kind of had some issues at home growing up. So, but ever since I was a child, I always wanted my own business. It was just something about people who own their own business. I just really admired the way they carried themselves, the flexibility they had in their schedule, just their lifestyle, overall lifestyle. But obviously, I grew up in a household where just say, hey, get a 9 to 5, get a 9 to 5. Now, my dad had his own detail business, but he didn't understand the business of the business. So as I, but anyway, I veered off into the streets, got in trouble, in and out of jail. And then, to be honest, I did 11 years in prison. And during that time, I had a lot of time to reflect and look at my life. Really was able to find myself while I was in prison. And so while I was in prison, I kept my class, stayed out of trouble, kept my back against the wall, kept my head low, and acquired some skills while I was in there. Learning how to be mechanically inclined. Even though I already had somewhat of a foundation as a working with my grandfather, he had a construction business and working along with my dad. But I, being out in the streets and stuff, had a bout with drugs and alcohol. And so I kind of got away from that. I lost that foundation. And so while I was incarcerated, I took, while other guys were just fighting and getting in trouble and stuff like that, I was like, hey, this ain't what's up here. I gotta do something different. I gotta pivot. I gotta turn my life around. So first and foremost, I prayed. I reestablished my connection with the Lord,
Amen.
Jesus, and just got to praying and read my Bible. And I said I don't want this to be a jailhouse religion though.
Mm-hmm.
So I fought every day. And it was tough. It was tough, but it was times where I was like, Lord, I can't do this, but the Lord gave me strength to endure it. And I had a son. So that right there gave me a reason to fight. I met my wife. We've been married since 2016. I met her while I was in prison through a buddy of mine who went to church with her.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see in some of my videos, she right there working with me.
Mm-hmm.
So we met in 12. She would come see me every weekend. We talk on the phone and write each other letters and stuff. And so she hung in there with me from 2012 to 2018 when I came home. And so, man, I just, we didn't look back. We went through some ups and downs in the business. We're both first time entrepreneurs. And so we just, we made the investment. It was hard for us to get funding, the difficulties of getting funding sometimes as a small business owner, and to be blatantly honest, sometimes as a minority business owner, it's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that too, I didn't really have no credit history. So long story short, man, I got out there. I just acquired my skills, as much skills I could while I was incarcerated. And I told myself, hey man, I'm gonna start a paint business when I get out. I'm gonna really get good at painting, and I did. And, they would actually let me travel the state of Arkansas painting and laying carpet, and the Lord just blessed me. I got really good at it, and that allowed me to gradually ease back into society. So when I hit the ground, I got out 18. I was offered a job at a glass company. And then I was there 4 months and got paid on Friday. And it makes me think about the movie Friday. I got fired on Friday. I said, hey, I thought it was just a movie. I said, this thing is for real. So, man, I just so I was in the parking lot at Kroger's. I just got my paycheck. I was 15 minutes early every day. Man, I worked hard. I was a team player because I wanted to really make it. I had a lot of people betting against me, so I had my head on straight. And so, but I feel like the Lord was saying, you've gotten comfortable with the 9 to 5. You lost your vision. You lost your goal. You got off track. You settled. And that's what I did. I settled for the easy money. And so it's like the Lord pulled the rug from under me in order to say, hey, you put in all this hard work to start a business while you was incarcerated. Mm-hmm. Stay focused. Attain that. Do that. And so when he pulled the rug from under me, I got fired. I'm sitting in the parking lot at Kroger's. I'm like, oh, God, what am I going to do? I got mortgage, car note, all this. My wife, she pretty much had me set up when I got out. Mm-hmm. She had got me a truck and everything. She believed in me. And so I was like, man, I got to pay these bills. So the very buddy that introduced me to my wife back in 12, actually 2011. Yeah, back in 12. Yeah, it was back in 12. He said he was flipping houses. He had a house in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Said, hey, man, I bought this house. It's a real nice area called Hot Springs Village in Hot Springs. It's a gated private community. And so he got a really good deal. He needed somebody to paint it. And I told him, I said, man, I could paint. He looked at me like, what? You can paint? I'm like, man, hey, I had nice clothes on. I said, man, don't let the clothes fool you now, So I said, hey, I didn't have the equipment. He's like, man, don't worry about it. I got a sprayer and paint and everything. And, man, I painted that whole house, man. It was probably about maybe 2,800 square foot home, top to bottom, ceiling, walls, everything, man. I'm talking about it was by myself. Mm-hmm. And he was shocked. They were blown away. They were like, oh my God, man, this looks good. And so I said, I appreciate it. So the last area I was painting was the garage. And so in the garage of that house that I was painting, I said, baby, go ahead and give me some business cards. And she found the name. I used to work out a lot, real strong. And, my buddies used to brag, man, you strong. So they called me Samson. Okay. And I was a car. So that's how we got Samson Knight,
Wow.
And yeah, man. So we just, and here we are today,
Wow. And I see on your profile, man, that you do a lot of commercial work as well.
Yes, sir.
Is now what's your preference? Is it commercial or residential?
Definitely commercial. Commercial is it's kind of like I was telling my buddy of mine on the phone. He in a pressure washer last night. It's commercial because it's like, as a kid you grew up, you played, you was a high school star, college star, but your ultimate goal was to become pro.
Right.
I look at commercial work. Once you begin to do commercial work, and I mean like big buildings, large structures, things that require you to have certain certifications, certain types of insurance, pass certain screenings and stuff like that. To me, that's you in the big leagues.
Okay.
You in the big league. When you start have to, control your wastewater, keeping up with that and everything, just being professional, you're dealing with city officials and stuff like that, then that was my goal. I wanted the biggest, most scariest, most ginormous, if that's a word, buildings that you clean. I wanted, that was my goal. I'm grateful for the house washes. It pays the bills, quick money. Mm-hmm. But my ultimate goal was to do commercial work, to take on the big boys. And, the money, if you manage it, and I tell guys, keep your costs low, keep mm-hmm. your operation costs low. You can see more of your profit. You got a lot of guys who out there who you just, you got to get multiple trucks. And I mean, it looks good to have them multiple, but they not really just making that money. They got more going out than they do coming in,
Mm-hmm.
My ultimate goal, is to do commercial work. It's like I made it to the pros,
Right. Right. Now, how did you go from painting the houses to pressure washing? Like, how did you make that jump? Because I heard what you said, your buddy had a house you painted and you painted that house. And then you had some
Mhm.
business cards made up. How did you transition from painting houses to pressure washing?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, we still do paint.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, and it's just, to be honest with you, I was standing a fence from a gentleman. He moved. He's going to Kansas City now, but he was like, "Hey man, I need my fence stained." I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And I went by, and this is my first time actually staining the fence. I know how to lay the stain, but I just doing a whole fence by myself was my first time. So I had to pressure wash it obviously before I cleaned it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, God, I mean, I'm here out there with high pressure water, and I'm like, man, it's just, man, I'm done. This is summertime now, and it was dark when I left. I spent the whole day pressure washing that fence. Man, I was dog tired, soaking wet. And I said, man, it's got to be a better way to clean this wood. So I began to research on a faster way to clean fences. And so, man, that's when I got introduced to soft wash.
Mm.
Or it was like the heavens open. Whoa! I said, oh, snaps. I said, it's over. I've seen how these guys, downstream and cleaning roofs and driveways, and I'm always been a clean person.
Okay.
I was, my mom used to tell, boy, you take too long for shower, so I really like to be clean cut, professional, so that's right up my alley. I mean, mom said, hey, boy, the house better be clean when I come in from work. So I was like, yes, man. So I grew up in that kind of environment, so it was just second nature. So I was like, wow, just the instant transformation, the instant gratification, to where it was like, and then I seen that I could make $2,500 in a day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Compared to painting, I would make $2,500 for that week.
Mm-hmm.
you know. So and then I don't have to worry about a bunch of employees. I didn't have to be concerned, trying to, prep and all this, So I'm like, wow, I said, well, I can kind of preserve, or, I don't have to spend as much time on one job and still make just about the same profit, And so, I'm like, man, I could make $500 just wash somebody's house and clean their driveway, or I could go in there and paint, 2 bedrooms or a bedroom or something for $500. And I had to be in there. I had to cut in. You got to cover everything. Got to pray. All the prayers. It was a longer day. I could be in my house in 2.5 hours. And be out of there. Better make $500. So it started making sense. I'm like, because I don't like being on jobs that long. I don't like being at a person's house that long. And so you can kind of sense, they kind of ready for you to go, wrap the job up, stuff like that. So that's kind of how I made the transition from painting to pressure washing. Yeah.
Okay, so pressure washing, that's mainly your bread and butter.
Primarily, that's my bread and butter. Primarily.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now, we'll have a pretty extensive paint job. I pick and choose my paint jobs.
Okay.
Some of them I sub them out to other guys. Hey, just give me 20% or give me 10% or whatever, depending on what the number is, and I sub it out to other guys, and I just do kind of focus on what I enjoy the most, which is pressure washing.
Okay. Now, how did you start getting clients for your pressure washing business?
What I did was, what I've noticed is yard signs.
Mm-hmm.
Yard signs was, because, starting out, I didn't have a lot of money. I just, people tell me run ads, Google ads, Facebook ads. And I'm like, man, I wasn't good at running ads. Like I said, at first, just getting out of prison, I didn't know much about social media. I didn't know how to, And, you know, I was like, okay, you know, it's got to be a easier way for me to get in it until I learn how to run social media. So I started out with yard signs. I did door to door. A lot of times just, you know, having business cards on me, talking to people, coming outside my shell, you know, just saying, you know, just take this, hey, how you doing? You know, hey, how you doing? You know, and what's your name? I'm CJ. Yeah, okay, what do you do, CJ? And I'm like, oh, you shouldn't ask me that. So I pull out that card. I got a pressure water bathing business, you know, and, you know, and I give my spiel. That's opportunity for me. And so just like that, man, just seems like the Lord always allowed me to be in the right place at the right time, you know. But yard signs really opened that door. I mean, the first time I started doing yard signs, like the big ones, you know, I had bought some small ones. I realized these too small. People can't see this. So I had to go and get the 18 by 24s. And so when I started putting those out there, getting colors that pop, people can really see, man, I never forget, man, that's something we were rolling, man. We were rolling. And that was the first time I was able to make enough money. Took my family to Florida. Atlanta, then we went to Florida. And, oh man, we had a great time, man. We just road trip, went down to Miami, stayed in Clearwater. You know, we just, you know, and I said, boy, you know what, I can get used to this, man. I got to, you know, we was rolling, and so I stuck with it, and it's still working to this day, man.
Man, now with pressure washing, it's not like a recurring thing like every week or once a month. So how often do you have repeat clients?
You know what? Really not often.
Really?
Because still in my circle, and this is what I run into a lot as a pressure washer, and you know, other guys may not run into that, but as a pressure washer, like say I clean your house this summer, next summer, man, the house still looks good.
Okay.
It still good, and I would call the client, because one time I called the client, I said, hey, you know, I'm just trying to see, and they was like, CJ, we would, but man, it still looks so good from last time you cleaned it. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, hogwash, you know, I'm like, yeah. So I said, I rolled through there, man. Look, I'm like, that's okay. You know, man, I said, wow. And it's like, man, we clean these houses too good, you know. But that's the beauty about soft washing. It you know, it lasts longer than just pressure washing. You know, pressure washing, you're just removing, you're not eradicating or killing the organic matter. You just kind of knocking the surface off, but it's still there. But when you soft wash it, obviously you're destroying the organic matter, and it takes a while for it to grow back. You know.
Wow, that's now let me ask you. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So as far as no, you're fine. As far as recurring clients, it normally is the one. Now I have a few who they just got big bougie houses. You know, they you know what I'm saying, they really, you got some people, man, they wipe and clean the house like they do a new car. You know what I'm saying? You know that guy that, man, every time you see him, you got the car wash, you washing and wiping it down. Yeah, you don't want nobody sitting in the back seat. You really don't want nobody riding with him. You know, I got clients like that. They, you know, they just, you know, they want it, you know, everything looking good, nice and neat and clean, and those, you know, so those been most of my recurring clients. But I don't really push hard for residential work. So most of the work I do get, and where I make most of my money, is commercial.
Okay. Now, how did you get your pricing right? Because you know, when you first start something, you don't know how to charge. Like, walk me through that.
So basically, when I first, like, especially with commercial work or even just residential, well, I just started with commercial because I do quite a bit of that. Commercial is, depending on the job, like, I don't really go by square footage on commercial work. So if I come up on a job and it's a pretty big job, and I'm like, God, you know, I can't measure all this, or, you know, all this concrete, or, you know, this bit. So, or I don't really have the time. What I do is I say I have an hourly rate. I know I know how much chemical I'm gonna use. So I have a, you know, pretty much a roundabout figure of how much chemical, you know, how many people I'm gonna need with me. If I need, you know, how many guys I'm gonna need to work. And so then I kind of say, okay, you know, I'm gonna be around maybe 300, 350 an hour, 400 an hour. Uh, and then that is kind of like that's how I gauge the job. If I need to get a boom lift, then I know I need to be higher up on my hourly rate. That to me that takes all the guessing and the figuring out of the job, because it could be nerve wracking. I get a lot of guys. CJ, man, I got this apartment complex. I don't know what to charge per building, and I said, well, first of all, I tell guys, you got to quit listening to all the talking heads out here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we all have different expenses. A lot of these guys, they got multiple trucks. Some of these guys got a bunch of bills, a bunch of debt. Some of them don't. So I tell people, price the job find the market value. Okay. Obviously, if it's an open bid, which 9 times it is, you need to find the numbers that work for you. You know your expenses. You know the cost of your lifestyle. You know that, hey, this is not the lottery. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You get a commercial. I get like, I got a commercial job, man. I said, oh, pump your brakes now. You want to retain this customer. Okay. You don't want to scare them to where the next time they need a cleaning, it's like, oh man, you don't want to have the reputation. He's the most expensive guy.
Mm.
Some people, it's different, but when it comes to commercial work, they always gonna get 3 bids.
Okay.
It's a bid. They're gonna always get. It ain't like, it's rare that you get a person that says, "Hey, we just gonna go with you. We ain't gonna get on the bid." It's the industry standard. Their managers, their bosses require the facility managers to get 3 bids. They have to.
Okay.
They have to do that. So, you ask yourself, "Hey, where?" After I've acquired, you look at how many people you're gonna need, how much chemical you're gonna need, your gas, whether you're gonna need to get and rent equipment and everything. After everyone is taken care of, but you gotta take care of you guys for you get paid.
Mm-hmm.
After all your expenses paid, what do you need to be walking with on this job? Or what's your goal to walk with on this job? That'll let you know where you need to come at on the hourly rate.
Okay.
And that's just how I do it on the hourly rate. Some guys, they go by square footage. Some people charge per story. Like if it's a 3-story, 4-story building, they'll charge according to each story of the building. So it's different strokes for different folks, but me, the most simple way was for me to do it hourly,
Okay, that makes sense. Now let me ask you, when it come down to pressure washing and dealing with chemicals, I know a guy, he tried to start his pressure washing business, and he ended up killing some plants on a client's property. And have you ever ran into that?
I have. And it was I forgot what kind of flowers it is, but they you see them a lot during springtime. They like purple, red. You see white, yellow. They real delicate looking succulents or vegetation. So yeah, those are the ones that, man, I'm like, I was watching a house for a military guy. I think he was in the Air Force, and I'm spraying, and I'm just downstreaming now. I'm not even doing nothing heavy, and I looked at the flowers. I'm like, man, some little brown spots, because at first they were just pretty, and I'm like, oh my God, no, and this even after I pre-wet, because I knew they were pretty flowers, so I knew, hey, let me pre-wet them, but even the downstream got them, and so now, and you learn, man, like certain plants can handle bleach or certain strength of bleach, So I've learned, yeah, I burnt them up, and they wasn't tripping or nothing. It was like, it's fine, no big deal. But yeah, man, I felt bad, but they wasn't sweating it or nothing like that. But I've learned, man, and I tell guys, man, I know you're in a hurry, you try to keep a time schedule, you trying to knock so many houses out a day. But man, you'll be hustling backwards, man, if you burn somebody's stuff, because everything you just profited finna go to them. So take out the time. I tell guys, when you uh, putting bleach down on driveway, you downstream a driveway or pre-treating the driveway, walk in the grass and spray toward the driveway. Don't walk in the driveway and you spraying toward the grass. You want to be in the grass spraying toward the driveway, to where you can easily mitigate how much bleach is being applied. You can easily keep it along the edge of the driveway instead of spraying, trying to edge the driveway, but blowing it all into the grass, And so I tell guys, it's certain techniques that you can take, that you can do to implement to make sure that you don't burn people's grass or plants. But I tell them, soak it down. If you see your gutters are running into somebody's flower bed, man, put a bag over them or divert the gutter if you can. If they don't have gutters and they want a roof wash, I mean, you soak the life out of those vegetation, and then you rinse that roof off once you apply your chemicals, because it'll definitely burn up. Now, if it's no vegetation, or if they don't have any gutters and there's no vegetation around the house, really, maybe just some mulch or maybe just some leaves. I get customers, they rake the leaves up. Then I leave the bleach on the roof, because I know that once it rains and it drips down, it's not going to burn or kill anything, because there's nothing for it to kill. But just being aware of your surroundings. That's why I tell guys, be aware of your surroundings. Just don't be out there, oh man, I'm cleaning the house, but and I see guys, they just be flying and this the hose get hooked on the little yard light, breaking the yard light and knocking over ornaments, and ain't took the little chimes down or nothing. Just gun ho, man, just out there spraying. Like, pay attention to your surroundings. Look at it, man. Okay, when you pull up. All right, I'm finna wash my house. Have that mindset. I'm pulling up to my house and I'm finna wash it. And anything I tear up, it's gonna come out my pocket. So just having a different hat, being conscientious of that. And customers, man, they look at that. They see, did you tape off my Ring doorbell? Did you, put a little tape over the keyhole? Because sometimes the bleach can get up in the keyholes of the doors and corrode them, and people have a hard time opening their doors. Mm-hmm. So just being aware, covering up light fixtures, make sure pet bowls out the way, pull people rugs off, door ornaments, all that, man, and I always put in my quotes too. I would let customers know that, hey, it's an additional fee if, because man, people just, man, you spend 30 minutes just moving furniture, man. Almost 30 minutes to 45 minutes just moving. Man, they got furniture everywhere. So, I tell guys, man, and that's an indication to me, these people spend a lot of time outside, or they admire their yard accessories or ornaments. So you definitely don't want to destroy them. And I always put an extra charge for moving all that. But cause guys, man, I don't feel like moving all that. They knew who was coming. I said, no, that you can't have that. Can't have that mindset, man. Well, it's outside anyway. Okay, I understand it. I'm gonna let outside destroy it, not us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's good, man. You pay close attention to detail, because I seen one of your videos. You were saying it was the windowsill. You was taping up a windowsill. I think it had like little cracks in it or something. You said you didn't want water to get in it.
Right. And that's things you'll run into, because customers, man, they sometimes they are not as conscientious of their homes as you would be,
Mm-hmm.
Because some people, you ever just seen that person, they just get in their car and go. It look like it never been washed.
Mm-hmm.
Look like look how they was driving. Some people treat their home like that. All they ever do is just live in it. They don't walk around and look, see, okay, how my door seal, how my window seals, or man, I see a gap in my door or my window. I need to see about getting it. And so, man, you spray, and before you know it, hey, you flooding my house. The window closed, and then we go in and like, oh man, you got a crack in your window, and I ran into situations like that,
Wow.
Yeah, so I've learned from mistakes that, and my wife, she's very good about that, man. She really helped me to be a lot more conscientious, because she worked in the federal sector. So there was something that really, they always had to be aware of regulations and stuff like that. So she really helped me to see that as well. And so now we do a walk around. We'll walk, and even while we doing the bid, she'd be like, "Hey, babe, we need to make sure we cover that up, take that off." And I'm like, "Good looking girl," and being conscious of that, because people, man, they neglect their homes, and it's and they won't tell you because they don't know. They don't pay attention to so it's up to us to make sure we pay attention to that, to where we're not causing any flooding they that you messing their hardwood floor up, or they got water in their car, bleach all in the house and stuff, so and this, you're really doing it to protect yourself, but also the customer will remember you for that. And they say, hey, I've had to say, hey, CJ, wow, man, I'm so glad you pointed it out. I didn't realize that. I was wondering, I had ants in my house, or, I had, bugs getting in, or had a draft or something, and I was wondering where it's coming from. And so they'll remember you for that, because it's like, wow, this guy really took out the time to look at the overall structural integrity of my home before he watched it. So let me, just the attention to detail like that, people really admire that, because they see that you really take pride, not only in what you do, but also in their home.
Yeah, and I think that's important, man. It really is. But what's been one of the best clients you've had up to date?
Oh man, boy, that's a good one, man, because I've had a lot.
Wow.
Man, down south, man, we out about the southern hospitality, man. So that's one thing I love about being down south, man, is that I think my favorite, and actually I've only and she's really not a pressure washer client. So I used to do and I forgot to mention that I used to do furniture assembly. So I used to go in people's home, furniture, assembling like entertainment centers, bunk beds, anything they bought, baby proofing homes, stuff like that. So it would have to be a late. She's a pediatrician. She's a ER for pediatrician. So she's a doctor. Indian lady, man, really, really sweet woman, man. Just at my early stages, just starting out, her and her husband always call me for everything, I mean, they just open their home up to me. Hey, CJ, we out of town. Go inside, do what you need to do. Just, hey, man, hey, it's some stuff in the refrigerator. Y'all want to go in there, get you something to drink, and then, just, like, yeah, no question, man, no thought, and it's just, when they had their baby, I built when they had their first baby girl, I built them an impact pan for the swing set, for her swing set. So I put her bed together. I put a mural on her wall for her. I've just done so much. They put trim in their house, painted, all types of stuff. So I did so much. So it was, and when I had their daughter, it was like, hey, that's the guy that fixed your man. And it's like, she's so precious, little girl, man. So it just, stuff like that, man, just move me, man. It makes me feel warm my heart, man, to know that, people, have their respect for me, man. And, just, I remember during COVID, she called me, hey, CJ, because people was kind of panicking. A lot of guys said, oh, man, the bid's going to get slow. But, actually, I was picked up. But she was like, hey, I know COVID's done, a lot of people shutting down. All right, you need some money here. We got some work for you to do. You want to make some money. I was like, wow. Man. I'm like, wow. It's, what I'm saying? Stuff like that just stick with you, man. You just like, wow, and so, yeah, her name is Miss Rupel. So, yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Rupel. So,
wow.
They, I think Grandma, I'm sorry. Her first name is Rupel. But yeah, man, they really sweet people, man.
Wow. Now, what's been one of your worst clients that you have ran across? I know we all have them or had them.
I have them, man. For right now, and this one wasn't with pressure washing. It was. We pressure washed. Yeah, it started out with pressure. So anyway, obviously before you paint the house, you got pressure washing. And so the lady. It was an old house. It's kind of considered a historical house in the city of Little Rock because it's so old. So her dad was an old doctor that had a live-in nurse and everything. So she was out of Texas. So she's like, hey, CJ, I need the house painted. I was referred to you by another one of your customers. So I said, okay, cool. So went back there, gave a quote. So anyway, while we cleaned the house, he was having people come out there, like the sitter who sit with her parents, like, hey, yeah, she wants to know, they was kind of hovering, just questions about everything. I mean, everything, bro. I'm talking about I was like, God, what is this woman problem? Like, I was just like, I mean, man, we cleaned that house. Like, man, it was, man, we really brought the house back. I was really proud of myself. But she was just real adamant, just like, did y'all do this? Did you do this? I didn't realize it was broke. Did y'all break that? And I was like, man, it was dirty. You couldn't tell it was broke, And so she just kept riding. And so I told her, okay, man, I think we need, since the house is so old, we need to get an asbestos paint test done before my guys always be scraping and stuff. We don't want to be breathing and stuff in, Well, I don't think it don't have any, but I said, ma'am, I understand what you don't think, but I need you to just check this for the safety of us, for your parents who are in this house, And so it was just, man, and so finally I had to just say, man, I just don't think we the right fit for you, and we just gonna, you just pay us for the pressure washing job, and we just gonna go our separate ways. And so, man, this woman hound me, brother. She hound me, rode me like a swayback horse, man. I'm telling you, she rode me and rolled me. I'm on vacation with my wife. She talked to me about, I said, ma'am, I'm celebrating my wedding anniversary. We told you, no, we are not doing the house. She had a brother call. She had the sitters call. I mean, and I was like, ma'am, I'm through with it. I'm through. I'm done.
Wow.
But yeah, she was the worst. I mean, she was something. She was something, bro. And you could tell she's so spoiled, entitled women. Nobody tell her no, and gave her back her deposit on the paint job. We like, here you go, just give us. We take our money out for the pressure washing, and we give you the deposit. I mean, she was in disbelief. It was like, I can't believe. And I was like, wow, it's really people out here in this world who can't handle no.
Yeah. That's true. Now, does the pressure washer business slow down in the winter?
It does. It does slow down for us around this time of the year. And a lot of times it's because it's decently warm. Like anything above 50 degrees, we still washing.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, like, I had a big driveway yesterday. We had to postpone because the rain. It started raining, but you pretty much, it slows down, and the main reason is because of the holidays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. Yeah, right. Thanksgiving, people like, okay, kind of clenching their pocketbooks. But commercial work is still something you can do, because they have to stay and keep a clean structure no matter what time of the year it is. So yeah, man, it's still rolling. It's still something, but it does slow down around the holidays. And I noticed it right after New Year's. The phone kind of get the ringing again. People saying, all right, I got all the celebrating on my system. Now I got to get my house in order.
Okay. Now, where do you see your business in 5 years, and where do you see it in 10 years?
In 5 years, I see my business. I see me completely coming off the truck. I feel like I have been in the business long enough to where I've obtained a lot of information. I help out a lot of guys who need help or need advice on starting their business, or if they're on a particular job, they need to know how to clean the surface or whatever. I feel like I've obtained enough knowledge of the business, and I'm still growing, but I feel in 5 years I would have had enough knowledge, been in the industry long enough to be able to at least have maybe 2 or 3 trucks going, and in 10 years, if my son doesn't want the business, then I will eventually sell it and just go on and just kind of focus on something else,
Okay. Now, what's one thing about the pressure washing business you had to learn the hard way?
The thing about pressure washing business, I've learned the hard way. learn the business of the business. Learn the business of the business. What I mean by that, anybody can spray soap and water and play, run a surface cleaner and all that. But learn how to structure your business. Learn about marketing your business. Learn about saving your money. Learn how to put basically whatever you earn. Learn ways for your money to work for you now.
Okay.
Treat your money like an employee. Give your money a job to do.
Okay.
And to where you're not constantly hustling. Hustling is good first start now, but while you doing that, be learning to find ways to where I don't have to hustle no more. I want to invest my money in different avenues or different ways in order for it to generate income for me while I'm asleep. You know, hustle while you're young, but find ways for your money to work for you. Invest your money in ways to where it's while you sleep, it's working for you. And that's, learn about your business, learn about the different tax deductions, learn how money work. I tell God, learn how money work. I know it's exciting, but it's going to come a point to where, you're going to have some, you got some slow times, you got some slow periods, your phone ain't gonna be ringing, but you need to have something in place to where your money is still working for you. I don't care, it could be anything that you don't have to physically be there doing the job, still able to make money.
Still able to make money.
Tap. I tell a lot of people, tap into your creativity. We come from a creator, and we made the image of a creator. So that means he calls us to also be creators. Create something. Use your imagination. Use your brain. You don't always have to use your back and your knees and use your brain. Let your mind work harder than your body. Because you have ideas. You have inventions. You have these things inside of you. You just have to believe enough in them to put feet on them, to get them moving, to get them going. So create a product, make a product. Create something that's going to make money for you that you can sell. I look at like Southeast South Watch. He don't have to go out there and watch houses. Why? He created a product. He built a trailer. He built a trailer. He got soaps. He got pumps. He got all that. So he don't have to. He created a product. So now he got guys to build his trailers. He got guys to, he got soap. So he just
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know Southeast South Watch. I spoke with him a couple of times. Great guy. Great guy. Great. I got just maybe a couple more questions. I'm gonna get you on out of here. I know you have other appointments. What is the books you are reading right now, or if you are reading any, or what is the motivational speaker you listen to?
Book right now is the Bible.
Amen. Amen.
But now, as far as motivational speaker, Myron Golden.
Okay. Good.
That's my guy, Myron Golden. Listened to Jim Rome last night, talking about just keep your mouth shut. Don't tell everybody your ideas. If you're working on something, he said, because what you do is every time you tell your ideas, you lose you lose a certain amount of energy. Now people are already praising you and oh man, that's good, that's exciting, hey, that's good. And so now you feel less likely, or you kind of lose a little momentum because it's like you prematurely getting praised for something that you haven't even accomplished. So now you feel like, hey, I don't even really have to put that much effort into it, or you get distracted by the instant gratification to where you never truly step out and start what you said you was going to do,
That's true.
So I really enjoyed that about Jim Rome. But Myron Golden, man, that's my guy there, man. I'm telling my buddy, I said, hey man, I wish I could. I wish I had a $300,000 or $150,000. You know, cause I said because I would spend it. I would do that.
With
I
Myron.
would. With Myron, man,
Yeah.
he is just
Yeah.
you know. And then he used a lot of biblical concepts and stuff. You know, I'm a God-fearing man, so I can honestly relate because I want to do it the Bible way.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want to be like, oh man, I'm self-made.
Right.
I don't be that.
Right. Now, last question before I get you on up out of here. If a guy come to you today and say, man, I want to do what it is you are doing, what's one piece of advice you would give him?
I would tell him, make sure this is what you want to do. Pray about it. Research it. Look at all the hard work that's going to be involved in it. Look at the sacrifices you're going to have to make. Look at the times that you know you have some broke days, broke weeks. You're going to have stuff break down on you. It's going to be hot. It's going to be 100 degrees outside. Be realistic. Don't go on YouTube and, oh man, I see, oh, that looks cool. Man, look at that equipment, all that. Actually find a pressure washing guy. Get up under him, go out there and do the work with him. Feel it, touch it, you know, and then decide, okay, is this something I could do long term?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Everything looks easy on screen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks easy, but once you actually, it's 95 degrees outside, 50% humidity, sun being, you got bleach blowing back on you. Boy, sometimes you soaking wet. You know, you up and down ladders. And say, hey, this is something I can do long term.
Right.
You know.
Right.
If not, then I encourage people, hey, you know, if you don't want to get that involved, just do it part time. Don't go out there and invest $25,000 in, equipment. And I would tell them, man, build your own equipment. Build your own equipment.
Okay.
Learn how to work with equipment. Yeah.
Wow. Now go ahead and plug your socials before we get up out of here.
Sure. Say it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If you want to, how people can watch your content or contact you for business, if you want to plug your socials. Yeah,
definitely, man. Check me out on Instagram, Samsonite Painting and More. Y'all go out there on Instagram at Samsonite Painting and More. You can find me on Facebook as well, and you can find me on TikTok. And man, if anybody out here, you got any questions or anything, or you just want to link up or whatever, man, just feel free, DM me. Any way I can help out, because when I got in this industry, a lot of people was closed mouth. They didn't really reach out, open a helping hand. So I told myself, once I got to a point to where I've learned enough and attained enough information, if anybody needed some help, man, I'm gonna help them out. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I appreciate it. I really appreciate you, Mr. CJ, for carving out time for me.
Appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. I want to let you know too, my wife, she out of Mississippi. She around Port Gibson, about an hour outside of Natchez.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
In the house. That's right.
All right, yeah, that's right. That's right. But man, y'all keep doing y'all thing, man. I love y'all content, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. You keep doing yours too, man. I see you out there. You looking good, bro.
Yes, sir. You have a good day.
You do the same.
All right.
All right. God bless.
All right. Let's give that guy a round of applause. As y'all heard him say, from prison to painting to pressure washing. Mr. CJ, man, it sounds like he got it figured out. He found a niche in his market, and he just ran with it. It looks like they're staying busy over there where they're working at. And man, like he say, man, once you start making money, allow that money to make money for you. Don't just use your mind. Work harder on your mind than you do with your body, as he stated. And like he said, man, if this is something you really want to do, shadow somebody. Go work for somebody for free for about a day or a couple of jobs. If you really want to get in the pressure washer game, find local pressure washers. Say, hey, man, I come work from free to shadow you because I want to start my own business. If there's a will, there's a way. And I said this before and I'm going to say it again. If you put yourself in the position to win, you will win. Nothing can stop a man whose time has come. As y'all heard him say, he got content on the job. He got out of prison. Then he started working his job. He was like, man, I'm content right here. And God had to shake things up and fire him. Sometimes that's what we need. Some of us need to be fired. Some of us need to be shaken up and woken up. As we're going into 2025, man, I want to inspire people. I want to motivate people. I want to wake y'all up. That's what I'm doing with this podcast. I'm trying to wake y'all up and show y'all you don't need a college degree to make $100,000. It's not the special among us that's make $100,000. Time, and the Bible says time and chance happen to them all. Time and chance happen to them all. Everybody gets their time. Everybody gets their chance. And everybody has youth on their side. The problem is a lot of y'all want to waste y'all youth. And then you look back and say, where did all the time go? Time and chance happening to them all. The decision is yours. You can keep scrolling up and down TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and watching everybody else be great. But I decided to start a podcast because I want to understand where these people greatness comes from. Where do y'all greatness come from? What made you start this? What was your journey on this? And I'm getting insight. Be a game changer. The world is already full of players. Catch y'all on the next one.